I am alive and it's good to be alive. Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain to you all what I think the best early game frame is. This is not to say that this frame is not helpful later on in the game. It is just what I think you should try to get as soon as you start playing because it's going to be very helpful. I'm going to have to say that this is just my personal opinion, but I believe that Rhino is definitely one of the very first frames that you want to pick up after you start the game because he is fairly easy to obtain and he has a really nice set of powers. So I'm going to show you guys what he has. So Rhino's powers are very nice because they are super helpful, and on top of that they're very easy to use and understand. His first ability is a Rhino charge, which simply causes you to dash ahead, knocking down enemies and ragdolling them. But here's where he gets extremely helpful. His second ability is called Iron Skin, which basically adds another layer of health to your Warframe, and this will be displayed at the bottom of your screen, which I'll show you later. It'll tell you how much of it you have, but for me, my Iron Skin will add 3,300 armor. So basically, I have to take 3,397 damage before I even start to get hurt. As long as you have energy, you can keep this going, which essentially makes you very tanky. And his third ability, which is just as useful, is called Roar. This ability bolsters the damage of you and your allies. It is very awesome. It increases your damage by 90%, which is not bad. For me, it lasts about 40 seconds. I do not have a blind rage on my Rhino, so granted, your powers could be even stronger than mine are. This is just the build that I like and that I've had for a long time. And to top it all off, he's got a nice Rhino Stomp at the very end, which stomps the ground, stunning all enemies, suspending them in mid-air, and slowing them down. This is very helpful against bosses whose weak points you have to shoot, but are only vulnerable for a certain period of time. Basically, you can stomp the boss, and then that causes their weak point to be exposed for longer since they kind of slow down. Rhino is also a fairly easy Warframe to obtain. You basically get his parts from fighting the boss at Fossa on Venus, which is the Jackal. I'll probably do a separate video on that. Not hard to kill at all, and one of the earliest game bosses, to be honest with you. As you can see, the enemy level is only 6 to 8 here. Especially if you play public and you got a squad with you, you're probably going to kill this boss in possibly even under a minute and maybe even a couple seconds. You basically just farm this mission over and over again, which will get you Rhino pieces until you get all the pieces that you need, and then you simply buy Rhino's blueprint from the market with credits, not platinum. You guys should definitely pick him up, and I'm going to show you a little bit of how his powers work in action. So I am playing a simple survival mission against the Grenier, which they start around level 21, I believe. So if I activate my Iron Skin here, you will notice that I cannot be hurt. So you'll notice down at the bottom right, if you see my power icon, it is at 86, 85, 84. That is basically the percentage of my armor that I have left. So once that 100% reaches 0, my power will deactivate, but I can simply recast it again to reactivate it and gain my armor buff. So this is really nice because basically as long as you have energy to continuously activate this power, you essentially can't be killed, which is very cool. That again is going to depend on your energy economy, how well you maintain that, and also how strong your power is, because the more armor you have, obviously you won't have to recast the ability so many times. And for his third ability, Roar, as you can see there, you let out a roar, and it will also affect teammates in the area, including your pet. You'll see he is also pulsating yellow, and that basically bolsters my attack damage of everything I do by 90%. This, again, is one of those things that makes Rhino very helpful against fighting bosses, because a lot of bosses, you have to shoot specific weak points on them, and you only have certain time periods to do so. This allows you to deal maximum damage to those bosses in the time frames that you're given, as well as negate a lot of your damage that you might take with your Iron Skin. And last but not least, this might just end up killing them, but I'll go ahead and stomp, and they all died. Yeah. So it's good. No, but normally what that would do is if it doesn't kill them, it causes them to become suspended in the air. They'll sort of bounce up into the air a slight bit, and then they will not be able to move. Yeah, but mine just appears to be killing everyone right now, so unfortunately I cannot show you that. It's too good. But this is also cool on bosses because It's kind of tricky to time, but if you manage to stomp when a boss opens up their vulnerability point, basically it causes them to move in slow motion, so their weak point stays exposed longer. So if you combine the longer exposed weak point with your roar damage, you can see how it becomes very easy to kill some bosses that would normally be a pain in the ass. And just for grins, I'll go ahead and show you guys Rhino's first power, even though I don't really use it for much of anything. But it's pretty fun. It ragdolls enemies. It might be nice for bombards or enemies that you can't kill immediately if you need to temporarily disable them and knock them to the ground. I imagine it's pretty helpful for that as well. So Rhino is by no means my favorite tank frame, but he is undoubtedly effective. He's also a really nice frame to pick if you don't know what situation you're going to be in. As I said, you can buff your damage, you can give yourself an armor shield. He's just very good in just about every situation. He's just going to help you survive pretty much anything and help you kill just about anything. So Rhino's ability to disable enemies temporarily, give himself armor, and buff his entire team's damage, plus the fact he's easy to get, just make him a very helpful frame, not just for early game, but also for end game if you want to use him for that as well. I hope this video was helpful, guys. If you're interested in maybe a more complex and interesting tank frame, I do have a chroma video on my channel, so feel free to check that out as well, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!